It's Zahdi. This is my second YouTube video, and thanks for joining me while I talk about some of the energies going on the planet and also stuff that we have to know to be able to integrate more fully into the new world, because we are in a new world. Contrary to what appearances may be, appearances are deceiving. We have brought in the new energy completely, totally. There is no turning back from here, and everything is pretty much miracles, but not exactly where we can see it because of the ways that the different realms are at this time. And that is something that in this time it's time for me to be more authentic and to tell more of my own truth, which has to do more with energy work and magic, and also to encourage you to tell your own truth too, because the old energy was definitely it was confining for a lot of us, but definitely for people who are energy workers and magic workers, it was confining for us in those ways too. What we saw in all of the past couple thousand years, or at least a couple hundred years, is that there's been a lot of relegation on how exactly your natural connection to the energies and your natural connection to the divine is managed and is expressed. And that has been something that's been going on across the planet. So what we saw were a lot of indigenous traditions, for example, being suppressed, not only in the New World, in North America and South America, but also in the Old World. In Europe, we saw this with the witch burnings, the witch trials, where people who had indigenous knowledge, where they were taking their energy and connecting it directly to each other and to the earth, and where they had a direct connection to the divine and to God and to the spirits around us and to their own guides, that was pretty much suppressed. And if you chose to keep on practicing your indigenous knowledge, then a lot of those people were slaughtered and killed, your ancestors, our ancestors. So part of this time is bringing back that knowledge and really embracing it, embracing that there's no need to fear anymore, right? There's no need to fear persecution, or that someone will try to come along and invalidate you. There's more of a validation of all of our authentic selves that's coming through in this time, which is really powerful and amazing and perfectly on track, on schedule with how the universe wants us to manifest ourselves. So if you are an energy worker, a magic worker, it's really important to be authentic, but definitely also I've been feeling that in my own life too, the need to be more authentic and to more fully show who I am all the time. And that includes my connection to the earth energies. Some of the activities I've been doing around Hilo, where I am right now, have been to organize meditations to help people to get in contact with their own spirit guides, because ideally, even though I do psychic readings for people, ideally we should all be in touch with our own guides. And every time I do a reading, it's the same information that they even tell me. It's, we would like to be talking to this person ourselves, but since we can't, we're going to talk through you, but we'd really like for them to just listen to us directly, so that all those moments in your life where you have a crossroads, you have a choice to make, you have your team around you that's there trying to help you, and they are helping you all the time. That sometimes that's that gut feeling that you get, or I just feel like going this way today, I don't know why. I feel like calling this person, or you get a sudden book from a friend that seems to correlate with where you are in your life. All of that is, all of our guides are trying to help each other and help us from the other side. But they really prefer it when they can just talk to you directly, when they don't have to go through a medium or an other, because you all are a team. One of the other things I've been doing is really doing magic in groups, and that is something that's really needed on the planet right now and extremely powerful. So that's one of the things I want to talk about in this video, is just doing magic and doing energy work with the earth as a partner, and with people in groups, instead of separating our energy away from the earth, because excuse me, it's kind of like when you're in a group of people and you all can put your thoughts together and put your energy together and make something brighter and better. The one component that we tend to forget in this whole scheme is that the earth and everything around us is pretty much alive and conscious too, which means that we're leaving out this huge aspect of our planet by not connecting in those ways. This huge aspect that wants to aid us in our lives and wants to inform our actions and help us move forward on a path of positivity and growth. And in doing so, the positive benefit is as well that you gain more sight and more openness to the other realms. So all of the sparkles and glitter that are over there, you get to smell it and taste it and observe it more just by interacting with the earth energies. So let's talk a little bit about that. No matter where you are, you can do earth magic. Whether you're in a small town or a big city, whether you're on the coast, in the middle of the country, no matter where you are, you're on Earth, right? So there's energies all around us, conscious energies. What are these conscious energies? I guess the best way to put them are, well, everyone has kind of a different perception. My perception of it, and your perception may vary, is that it's sort of as if there are cities all around us, cities of beings that are kind of like people. So they have, you know, kind of desires and kind of wants and needs of their own. And that's what I mean by conscious, that they really have their own aspirations and their own desires, and that they love interaction. They love interacting with all of us. And speaking of, there's like some great energy just came to the room. It's like, yay! So the different energies, it depends on where you are. And what you'll find is that a lot of the indigenous lore for where you are is going to help inform what energies those are that are around you. Here in Hawaii, for example, well, start from the beginning. The reason I moved to Hawaii was that I was doing, you know, all this energy work on the East Coast, and the East Coast for me, at least when I was there, is very energetically dead. So even though it's on the planet and there are energies there, it's not that there are a strong consciousness that are there. A lot of areas will have one really strong central consciousness, and sometimes you can call that like a god or a goddess. And in earth-based traditions, that's usually, I think, what we are calling gods and goddesses, is that strong central consciousness of an area that sort of like guides the area, guides the energy of the area, and uplifts everyone who lives around in that area as well. And when we ignore them or cut off our connection to them, or even worse, when we destroy actively that energy by too much urban development, for example, too much mining and digging in the earth for resources, cutting down trees, acting like the planet is not an active steward that really is alive in its own sense. When we do that, it really harms those like main central consciousnesses, those gods and goddesses for short, and just say that. And it harms the entire area. And so part of my purpose, desire in this time is just to even see those gods and goddesses reawaken. The energy of Hawaii is really cool. There's, I don't know, so when I first got here, a couple of energies came to me directly, and one was the ocean energy. That one came to me as very masculine, and it just told me, like, you need to get a tattoo of an octopus. And I was like, okay. But I didn't do it immediately. I did it 2 years later, because he just kept coming to me. It's like, get a tattoo of an octopus, for heaven's sake. And the other one that was really strong was when I got to go over to the volcano to see the lava down in Kalapana in the south of the island. As soon as I got out there, there was very strong feminine energy, just so much feminine energy, and just like overwhelming the entire area. It was great. It was fantastic. And even some of the people that I've talked to here who are not from here, a lot of the people who are from here, and you might be one of them, you can attest or comment more on it, but a lot of the people that are from here are aware of the gods and goddesses, the different consciousnesses that are on the island and helping and blessing everything. And even people that are not from here are often like becoming aware of those energies or being made aware of those energies. So Hawaii was a really great place to come to learn more about awake earth energies. And the energy work, the magic that I try to do here usually involves just connecting to the earth, connecting to where I am, and talking and listening to the different energies that are around me. So it might not be those huge, enormous energies, the goddess and god energies. It might just be the local energies that you would see in the trees or in the grass, the mountain. All these things are immediately around you. Those energies are all kind of like surrounding you and wanting to play and wanting to help you out and be more a part of your life. So no matter where you are, even if you're on the East Coast, especially if you're on the East Coast, you should be able to tap into the energy that's directly around where you are and do magic in that way. So what sorts of things am I talking about exactly? Well, I started off doing Wicca, which is how a lot of people who get into earth-based religions in the United States start off. Wicca is very popular. There are tons of books on the subject. I started off with Silver Ravenwolf when I was a teenager, and a lot of people will kind of dismiss her, but I thought she had some really good and helpful info. So certainly her books are good. Scott Cunningham is a really lauded author, really popular. There's a lot of great info on Wicca, even on the internet and in your local library. There's a lot of different earth-based traditions that have tried to be reclaimed and tried to be fleshed out so that we can work with some sort of indigenous tradition wherever we're from more. And so once I had done Wicca, I moved on to Druidism. You might wonder why, since I'm, African diaspora, why I haven't gone into the African indigenous religions, and that's a great question. I just don't really feel drawn to them, and that is a really important thing. Whatever you do, whether you're working off of someone else's tradition or forming your own, it has to be something that connects directly to your heart. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective. So it's good to find some sort of tradition that allows you to work with energies around you, doesn't encourage you to be cut off, allows you to pull in directly divine into yourself, that really resonates with your heart, really resonates with who you are and what you feel is right. And I know a lot of people that do African indigenous traditions here in the United States and are very happy with those traditions. So you might want to check out one of those, Yoruba or Santeria, or even Voodoo that's down in the Caribbean. So I moved on to Druidism because I really like trees. But even that was too structured for me. I had to find, my energy just likes to play and dance and sing and dance. It really likes to dance. So I eventually found myself moving towards shamanistic traditions, read a ton of books on modern reclaiming shaman traditions that I will put some titles so you can see them. And those helped me to feel more comfortable working with the energy around me, being a conduit and a vessel for energy to express itself and to work. So when I do magic and energy work today, that's usually what I do. I don't do a set thing that I've set out, not usually. But I've been doing some of that, especially with newcomers, because it's easier to start out with structured things sometimes. But I've really just been experimenting or just going out and just feeling the environment and allowing it to suggest great things I should do. So for example, here in Hawaii, one really easy thing to do that I love is just to go into the ocean and to listen, okay? So you go into the ocean, you're surrounding yourself with this elemental element, and yes, there is consciousness in that water, especially since it's the ocean, so primordial and lifeblood of the planet and just really vital for all of us, emerged of the water, right? It's good to take a moment to just to still your mind and still all your energy and allow yourself to be open to receiving positive influence and positive expressions onto yourself. And yeah, to answer your questions too, if you have them, there are a lot of different energies out there. Not all of them are good. One good thing about this age is that a lot of the bad energies aren't as strong as they have been able to be, but still you want to be protected and you want to be guarded. So the best way to do that is just to affirm to yourself, seriously, is just to affirm that only positive influences are allowed to touch you and not to be afraid. To be confident that only positive influences, only love, only light is going to touch you and going to work with you. And then to trust also. And trust yourself. Don't do anything at any time that you feel uncomfortable with, on a deep down soul level. Never do that. Always work with what you are comfortable with, what makes your heart feel good, what makes your mind sing and feel expansive and open. That's the key, ultimately. If you're not in Hawaii, there are so many other places to engage with the energy in this way. Cities can be difficult because there is so much development, right? And so little listening to the energies that are around us. And how do you want this building to go up? How do you want this sidewalk to be here? If you want a sidewalk to be here at all, we just kind of blindly put things wherever we want to. And that's really chaotic and disruptive to the earth energies. So in a city, it's going to be more difficult. Not impossible, but more difficult. If possible, definitely get into sort of an untouched area outside of an urban development zone. Any field, stream, river, hills, anything. And the best way to start off is just to kind of sit there or stand against a tree, allow yourself to be quiet, allow your mind to be quiet, open up to being receptive. You know what I mean by that? So just like when you're listening to like your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, and you're really listening to them, and you kind of like, because you love them, you're very engaged in them too. And that's really important. That love energy is like engaging you. So you're receptive, you listen to your family or to your close friends, and then you engage them with love. And that is what it means to be open and receptive. To say, I am open to hearing and I engage you with love. And having this attitude, having a quiet mind, allow yourself to listen, allow your heart to be filled and to be filled with energy and love. Because for the most part, that's what is all around us that wants to be touching us, be like interacting with us. So give that a try. Let me know how it goes. You can leave some comments or email me with my email after this video. And thank you so much for watching, and hope you have a blessed and wonderful day and week ahead. Namaste.